and my family celebrates a holiday called Easter, and we usually decorate eggs, and we hide eggs, and we go find them. And so I thought that I would read you a book with eggs in it. So I found this book. It's called Horton Hatches the Egg. This book is written by Dr. Seuss, and Horton, this elephant, is one of my favorite characters from Dr. Seuss because I think he's a very, very good friend. He's very kind, he makes promises, and he always keeps them. So we're going to read to you a little bit about how an elephant could hatch an egg. Are you ready?
Yes, but what really happened, she's thinking...
Don't tell them the story yet.
Oh.
It's a secret. All right.
I can tell them the page. Some of the pages.
Yes. All right. It says, sighed Maisie, a lazy bird, hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored and I've kinks in my leg from just sitting here day after day. It's work. How I hate it. I'd much rather play. I'd take a vacation, fly off for a rest, if I could find someone to stay on my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly away free. Then Horton the elephant passed by her tree. Hello, called the lazy bird, smiling her best. You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg on my nest? Huh? The elephant laughed. Why, of all silly things, I haven't feathers and I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense. Immense is a fancy word for big. Tut, tut, answered Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can do it, no trouble at all. Just sit on it softly, you're gentle and kind. Come, be a good fellow, I know you won't mind. I can't, said the elephant. Please, begged the bird. I won't be gone long, sir, I give you my word. I'll hurry right back, well, I'll never be missed. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation, go fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful, I mean what I say. Toodaloo, sing out.
What does toodaloo mean?
It means goodbye. Toodaloo, sang out Maisie and fluttered away. So Maisie the bird made Horton a promise. She said, I'm tired. If you'll sit on my egg for just a little bit, I'm going to be right back.
But then she's not.
I wonder if she's not going to come back.
Me too.
The first thing to do, murmured Horton. Let's see. The first thing to do is to prop up this tree and make it much stronger than that has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton. Propping it up. Then carefully, tenderly, gently, he crept up on the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. There he goes. Then Horton the elephant smiled. Now that's that. And he sat and he sat and he sat and he sat. And he sat all that day and he kept the egg warm and he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightning, it thundered, it rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish she'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. Ooh, that does not look fun. But Maisie by this time was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such a wonderful rest, decided she'd never go back to her nest.
That's not nice.
She made a promise that she'd come right back, and now it looks like she's not going to
Come back.
Ooh.
That's not nice.
So Horton kept sitting there day after day And soon it was autumn, the leaves blew away. And then came the winter, the snow and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting and said with a sneeze, I'll stay on this egg, and I won't let it freeze. Achoo! I meant what I said, and I said what I meant, an elephant's faithful 100%.
Because what achoo means is like you sneeze.
Achoo means a sneeze. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through, and then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round and they shouted with glee, look, Horton the elephant's up in a tree. They taunted, they teased him, they yelled, how absurd. Old Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird. So they're making fun of him.
And that's not nice either.
They laughed and they all ran away, and Horton was lonely. He wanted to play, but he sat on the egg and continued to say,
he wants to play also.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant, an elephant's faithful 100%. No matter what happens, this egg must be tended. But poor Horton's troubles were far, far from ended. For while Horton sat there so faithful, so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind.
They're going to shoot him.
He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight at his heart.
That's not nice.
Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high and he threw out his chest and he looked at the hunters as much as to say, shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. There he is. He's being brave. But the men didn't shoot. Much to Horton's surprise, they dropped their 3 guns and they stared with wide eyes. Look, they all shouted, can such a thing be? An elephant sitting on top of a tree? It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderful, new. Don't shoot him, we'll catch him. It's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive, why he's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to a circus for money.
That's not nice.
And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front for the pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put it inside with Horton so sad that he practically cried. We're off, the men shouted, and off they all went with Horton unhappy 100%. They're taking him away from his home in the jungle.
Yeah. They're taking him away from his home. They're getting him to his home. But that's not his home. Not nice.
Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountains 10,000 feet high, then down, down the mountains and down to the sea went the cart with the elephant egg nest and tree. There's that big mountain.
What's a tree?
You know what a tree is. Then out of the wagon and onto a ship, out over the ocean, and ooh, what a trip. Rolling and tossing and splashed with the spray, and Horton said day after day after day, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. But oh, am I seasick 100%. If you can see his face, he does not look very happy.
Yes, but his eyes look like a gang because he does not look very happy.
But he has X's on his eyes. He is feeling very, very sick. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. All ashore, the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horton the elephant still on his perch, tied onto the board that could just scarcely hold him. Bump, Horton landed, and then the men sold him.
That's not nice.
Sold to a circus, then week after week they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington, too. To Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota. And everywhere, thousands of folks flocked to see and laughed at the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he sighed as he sat in the hot, noisy tent. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. Then one day, the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not so far from Palm Beach. And dawdling along way up high in the sky, who, of all people, should chance to fly by but that old good-for-nothing bird, Runaway Maisie, still on vacation and still just as lazy. And spying the flags in the tents just below, she sang out, "What fun! Why, I'll go to the show." Oh, man, do you guys remember Maisie? She said that she was going to come back, and she did not. Do you think she's going to see Horton?
Yes.
Do you think she's going to want her egg back?
Yes.
Uh-oh. I don't know. What do you think? Should Horton give the egg back?
Yeah. She let Horton be on it.
Do you think he should give it back?
Yes.
It is Maisie's egg, even though he's been doing all the hard work.
Yes, but it's actually his egg because it came out.
Don't tell anybody.
As he. Mom,
And she swooped from the clouds through an open tent door. "Good gracious," gasped Maisie. "I've seen you before." Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk...
What's going to happen?
There rang out the noisiest, ear-splitting squeaks from the egg that he'd sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild, alive scratching. "My egg!" shouted Horton. "My egg! Why, it's hatching!" "Ah!"
What's going to come out of it?
"But it's mine!" screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done. Now she wanted it back. "It's my egg," she sputtered. "You stole it from me. Get off of my nest and get out of my tree." He did not steal it. He was helping her. Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. Look at his face. But at that very instant, the egg burst apart. And out of the pieces of red and white shell from the egg that he'd sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears and a tail and a trunk just like his. It's a...
elephant bird.
Yes, it's a little elephant bird.
That has wings and a tail. And a trunk.
And the people came shouting, "What's all this about?" They looked and they stared with their eyes popping out. They'd never seen anything like it before. "My goodness, my gracious," they shouted. "My word, it's something brand new. It's an elephant bird." Oh, I know. If you look, Maisie does not look very happy. And it should be like that, because Horton was faithful. He sat and he sat. He meant what he said, and he said what he meant. And they sent him home happy, 100%. So it was a happy ending. He sat on the egg for forever, but he got to keep it. Because he kept his word, he sat on the egg, he kept it safe, even when he could have run away. It wasn't very easy. But then he got a cute little baby elephant bird at the end.
So now he gets to go home with it.
And he got to go back home to the jungle. Well, thank you guys for reading with us. We'll see you guys later. Bye.